And again, we're talking about so many great things because there's so many good things happening this time of year to help out so many others. And that's what we do on Feel Good Friday. We shine the spotlight on a lot of these organizations and what Mark and the team are working on so we can spread the word. That's what it's all about.
That is.
Spreading the word and having conversations. Oh,
yeah.
Yes. So we were,
I know. I was just thinking about my dad, talking about my dad. Yeah.
Well, yeah, because, this kind of ties in nicely because something Mark wanted to bring up because it is the holiday season and people are going to be meeting with their loved ones. And maybe like in your case, some people are going to be traveling, Mark, correct?
Yeah. And, we talk about this a lot and having those open and honest conversations with the family to figure out, exactly what the fears and wishes are, right? But sometimes that silent generation, right? Even some of the upper end boomer generation, they were raised in a way that, vulnerability is kind of, they're allergic to it.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely. So my dad technically is not, I think the boomer was after the war and he was born like a week before Pearl Harbor. So he's in that kind of age range and he's older, but he always will be your dad. So I think in his mind, it's very hard to be vulnerable with his kids because that's what he thinks that he's letting us down, I think, a little bit. You know what I mean? Is that he thinks he always has to be
Dad.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, the superhero. And it's important because chances are they're not going to begin the vulnerable conversation. Mm-hmm. So I think it's up to us to say, Dad, you're 85. You're probably going to live another 20, 25 years. What do you want to do? Like, what is the perfect vision of your future and beyond? And to have that conversation, it's really important. Like, it's not pass the potatoes. And by the way, Dad, what are your goals? What do you want a legacy? Where's the charity? We always encourage people to get into a private space, to get into a neutral space too, right? So you were saying your father, watches the World War II documentaries.
Loves them, yeah.
Yeah, but having that conversation while he's focused on that doesn't work. Get out in nature, right? We do this a lot in the business world now. So one of those COVID positives, Rob, that I love to talk about is, we couldn't have those face-to-face lunches and meetings, and now, we were like, okay, let's go out to a trail and give it a hike and get into nature and really leave the phone in the car and think through some things. And now it's like, you want to meet for lunch? Nah. Let's get out there. And these dog parks are another great venue to get out and talk with mom and dad and get the dogs going. There's support dogs for a reason, right? So it gets people to let their guard down a little bit and share vulnerability. Like, what do you want to see happen? What are your dreams and aspirations? I know one of my father's was to make sure that his core unit of kids stayed friends. And that can only be done with proper planning, because if you set that up for failure, then it's never going to be. Then they're squabbling after. And it's such an easy path to get there, right?
Yeah,
so,
of course.
But it's also about having those discussions of like, this is what's going to happen. Right. And that generation that you talk about, Taylor, they don't want to, first of all, they don't want to come off as not being a superhero, right? So, maybe they don't have as much to leave as they thought. But you know what? We're all set. Mom and Dad, we're good. We want to make sure that, you plan through what you really want. You want to leave some money to the church. You want to leave some money to Dana-Farber. You want to leave some, let's talk through how you want to be remembered. Right.
Well, and I was thinking about phrasing it more of because again, he's of the generation and of the type that's just not, but framing it around the idea of this is him taking control of it. Mm-hmm. He's getting to make the decision as opposed to his kids.
And that's a good framework for that personality type, right? If that person is a control, this is reinforcing it. Like right now, you're out of control. There's loose ends, right? Like, let's tighten up all those loose ends and let's feel good about it.
Yeah, I think that's the dog park. He loves my dog, so I'm bringing my dog down there. So that's a good call. Is having the conversation with Molly Parton present.
Molly Parton, what a great name.
She's a tiny, friendly blonde. So
Parton.
she's Molly Parton, but my dad loves my dog, so that's a good way to get him away from.
And it will, and get him out of the element, right? Get him into the nature, breathe in the air, and feeling really good. Get out of that routine, that status quo, and get creative and talk and be open and honest and vulnerable, and then take action.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, okay. So, Mark, what advice again would you have for those people that are getting ready to get together again to start that? Just to remind people, what's the best way to bring this up?
Well, no advice, right? Sharing experience only, right? So what's the best way that has worked for me is to get folks out of their element, to get folks at a dog park or a nature walk, or breathing some of that fresh air and seeing the beauty of everything around, and simply ask, what do you want to see happen for the rest of your life? You're 85. You're going to live another 20 years. Do you want to have fun? Do you want to be creative? What do you want to do?
Yeah.
Where do you want to be? Where do you see yourself? Like, what fears do you have? Like, what can we avoid? What can we do to minimize that anxious feeling that you have right now about your future? And what do you see beyond once you leave your earthly body? Like, how do you want to see all of what you worked for transfer, right?
Yeah.
And what is it, right? Let's have an understanding so that there's no surprises when you're gone, because we all want to be friends, and we certainly don't want money to be the thing that breaks down our family, because you don't know what's going to happen when you throw a pile of money in the middle of a room. Like, be purposeful and specific about what you want to see happen, and talk it through now so that there is no surprises.
And I feel like we've all heard stories about families where that happened, where it's like somebody's so hurt because this was left to that, or whatever, or this person got the, and I'd love to honor my dad HBH in the way that he wants, because I might not be able to guess where he would want, even if he said, I'm setting this amount aside for charity, I would not necessarily know which one he's most passionate about. I mean, he was a Boy Scout leader. He was on the, so I would get, it would be a guess as opposed to his wishes.
Right.
Yeah.
And ultimately, if you can plan, right?
Yeah.
That's what you got to do. All right. Stiles Law. Mark Stiles is with us every Friday at this time. And if you want to get in touch, go to stiles-law.com for the website to check out all the different information and some of his videos that he has up there, and the blog and the FAQ. And if you want to call, give a call to Mark and his team, right?
That's right. We could be reached at 781-319-1900. 781-319-1900, and we have a collaboration of like-minded attorneys who are looking to be proactive, so you're not forced to be reactive, and plan in a way that you want to plan. So give us a call, reach out, have a consultation, no commitment, and we'll see if we can help.
That's Mark Stiles, Stiles Law, Feel Good Friday. We do it every Friday at this time on WATD. Thank you, Mark. Have a good weekend.
Thank you.
Next time I see you, I'll have more facts about World War II for you.
Can't wait. Enjoy that holiday with Dad.
Thank you.
Bye now.
Bye.